Hello guys, welcome to one more video about Path of Exile. We have more changes. These developers are working very hard to make this game greater. So they've been listening to all the feedback from all players and they are planning to do some changes coming soon. Okay, so this will be all the changes coming soon, which we are gonna have a look. It's a lot, okay? So regarding gameplay, this is amazing, this change. I already read this, so this way I'm aware what they are doing. So last week, players have been complaining maps are too big, so they are trying to make it easier to everyone. Alright, so how they are doing this? They want to make the fast travel between checkpoints within an area, and we know we don't have much checkpoints. So they are adding more checkpoints to areas, generally all entrances and exits to areas, meaning that if you find this first, you'll be able to instantly travel to them to continue exploring. So this is amazing, will be much easier, much faster to level up our characters with this upgrade. They're also making passive points respecking cheaper, especially at higher levels. As you guys know, if we mess up with our passive tree, especially on higher levels, it's a pain, okay? We're gonna spend all our money to get all of those passive points back, because according with the feedback from players, it was too much expensive, and because of that they are reducing that cost, and they are aiming to approximately reduce to 40 to 50% less gold cost. Okay, it's huge, especially between the start and middle of endgame progression. All right, because I mean, you can start doing a build and then you don't like it, especially for new players, so this is a really great addition. Other change is the Thrill of Secamus. A lot of players have been complaining about this thrill. It's very hard because you have the honor thing. If you lose the honor with damage, I mean, you lose it, okay? It's very frustrating. So they are reworking how honor damage scales. So they did some changes. Honor damage now scales down based on distance to enemies. When in close range, you take 35% less honor damage. So this is really great. They also fixed the bug where we take damage over time. The damage over time was dealing twice as much damage to honor as intended. Okay, so this was a bug, they corrected it, amazing. Skyter golems no longer use basic attacks and instead now just explode. Serpent clans, they improved the visual telegraphing, so this way you can see better where they are coming from. Volcanoes created by Rattle Cage's Fissure Slam now last half the duration. This is really good as well. And this is it. This is really good, especially the first change they did to how the honor damage scales. Then, endgame and monster balance. They did some more balance. So endgame was more punishing than intended, so they've tuned down the damage. So they did some changes. Maps no longer have additional elemental resistance penalties. Chaos damage now also scales less aggressively over the endgame. Critical strikes from monsters now deal 40% less damage, bonus damage. They lowered the baseline monster density of breach encounters. I know a lot of players have been complaining about this. They disabled the volatile crystal modifier. Purple explosives created by the volatile plants, they do significantly less damage. And the siphon flash charges modifier on monsters now drains 10 times less flash charges per second. Okay, these changes will improve a lot the survivability in the endgame content. Next changes they are planning to do will be character and item balance. So they've made charms modifiers on belts more common, which is great, and now they will appear at much lower levels. The off symbolism modifier now appears at level 23 onwards, and the inscription modifier appears from level 64 onwards. This is really good. Electrocute is now 25% harder to build, but the damage penalty has been removed from the support gem. Not so good. Added a new lightning damage and electrical closer to passive tree in between ranger and monk section. And it is now more difficult to chain freeze enemies by reducing the amount of freeze build up applied after a freeze has been applied. So for the ice mages, don't think this is really good. The Hunter Talisman notable now grants +1 charm slot. This one is good if you want to use it. This notable will give you 1+ charm slot, so that one is good. Then we have skill and support gem balance. Okay, these changes are, some of them are good, other ones not so good. Maybe they will affect your build. And they start saying that unfortunately they will nerf a few skills that are far too overpowered. They don't want a build to be too much broken. Alright, so they want the meta shifting changes only when there's patches or new leagues coming in, and not at this moment. They want to make it more balanced as possible between all the builds that are possible to be made. So they are doing some changes on the skills, which are these ones. So they are improving to rolling slam and all shield skills in the mace section, improvement to various bow skills, especially the skills to generate frenzy charges, improvement to bone spells and chaos damage overtime spells in the occult section, improvements to various crossbow skills, especially those in higher tiers, improvements to some of Undershiving Quarterstaff's abilities. These ones, just improvements, so looks really great. Besides that, they are doing some support gems changes as well. So they added the Tremors support gem that can be used to multiply more aftershocks to skills with a damage penalty. They added the Biding support gem, which can be used to give more damage to the command skills of supported minions. And the Fire Exposure, Lightning Exposure, and Cold Exposure support gems no longer penalize damage of supported skills, and they now have a mana cost multiplier of 120%. Then they are doing notable nerfs to the few of the remaining overachieving skills, which are these three. So starting with the minions from the Infernalist, Skeletal Arsonist Spirit now match the other two skeleton mages. This will result in a decrease in the number of arsonists at higher level. And then a nerf to the damage over time components on very high levels of Tornado and Vine Arrow, because they were never intended to be dealing damage themselves, but more to act as a way for other skills to propagate that damage. And finally, Magnetic Salvo can now only use your stuck lightning arrows as opposed to those created by your party members, okay? This is a lot of changes. They are working really hard. Almost every day there's like balances, new things they are doing. But the first one, guys, the first one is really good. When you start a new character, this will make a huge difference with this fast travel between checkpoints. I mean, I think will be amazing having this. I think this is a great upgrade. Thrill of Sekemas, I think it's a really great upgrade as well. The balance for the end game, a lot of players been complaining, and this is a really great adjustment. And of course, character and item balance and skill and support gem balance. This will not be so good for some players, because, I mean, we create our builds, we are happy with our builds, and we have those nerfs coming, and we need to make everything again. But fortunately, they are doing some changes to the passive skills, and they will be costing less, so that will be great, and this way we can respect cheaper. Alright guys, hope you guys are happy with these changes as I am. I think the first one, I'm really happy with this one, and also all the balances, they need to be done after all. So hope you guys are having a great time playing Path of Exile 2. If you want to follow more content about Path of Exile, don't forget to leave that like, subscribe, and see you next time.